Here we go. Episode 10, I believe. Slammers College Recruiting Podcast, delivering value to the player, parent, and coach of the Colorado high school baseball family. College World Series Reaction Show today, Coach. I had to make this one happen because, what was it, 1998? 1998. You were coaching for Arizona State. You guys made it to the semifinals, I believe.
We played in the national championship game.
In the national championship. Oh.
Yeah. What? We lost 21-14 to USC.
21-14. I remember that game. I remember that game at Old Rosenblatt, right?
Old Rosenblatt. You know, that's the only time anyone at the College World Series only lost one game and didn't win a national championship. So the format was different.
Yeah, they've changed the format probably because of that, yeah?
Yeah, they did change it right after that.
We
lost to USC in the national championship game, and that was our only loss in 10 days.
Wow. And was that USC had a loss, or did they go undefeated?
USC had a loss, yes.
So if it was played now, you guys would have had to play another game.
Yes.
After a 21-14 game, did you have any pitching left?
Nobody did. The wind was blowing out, ball was going everywhere. 4.5 hours. And that's what changed the bats. So the bats were -5.
Uh-huh.
And that game lasted 4.5 hours. And it cut into the golf tournament, the U.S. Open. And CBS was really angry. They were losing money because people were having to watch a 21-14 baseball game instead of the U.S. Open.
Well,
on Sunday.
Certain people were angry and probably others were happy, like me, as an aspiring college kid who have done anything to play at those two schools.
Yeah, and then the bats changed, and so did the format.
What do the entirety of the Omaha experience, not just the championship game, but what do you remember most about that when you look back on it now?
Oh, just, I wish you could have slowed everything down. I think the biggest thing that I remember most of all is the crowd. 28,000 people, Rosenblatt packed. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. Walking in, the people asking for autographs. Walking out, the people asking for autographs. It was really something special.
And you were coaching third, right?
Yes.
What's it like to coach third in a 21-14 national championship game?
We were close at times, It was 17-14. It was 9-7. It was 10-9. It was interesting, You 17. You knew you needed to score a lot of runs when they got to 17.
Yeah.
So didn't take many chances.
What changes about the dugout atmosphere in the College World Series, and how did you manage it as a coach?
Well, that's a really good question. I think a lot of times, in the dugout during the College World Series, everyone is completely bought in. At other times during the season, there's a little detachment at times. But as you get that far into it, boy, everyone is invested. Everyone wants to win a national championship. Do that. Managing the emotion of the dugout is difficult.
How
trying to keep the kids even keel, trying to get them to the next pitch. Even the coaching staff, trying to get the coaching staff to the next pitch.
Put it on the end of the 9th inning in the Georgia-Oklahoma game, getting to the next pitch.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? When you say get him to the next pitch, the dugout presence is that conversation with a few? Is that a loud voice to all? Is that a timely address to the team? Is it an in between pitch thing? What do you mean by that?
I think when you get to that point, I think the leadership comes from the players in the dugout. I mean, the coaches have an opportunity to coach, but the players have an idea of how they want to go about it and how they want to get from pitch to pitch, inning to inning, how they want to answer back. It's really kind of a beautiful thing once you get that far.
Mm-hmm.
The players kind of just take over and they run the club.
You know, when I watch this now, the College World Series actually probably more than Major League Baseball for me. When I watch this, there's such a before and after for me because there's what the College World Series was, which when I was watching it as a kid, and then I can't remember watching one College World Series game while I was playing pro. I can't. Maybe it was on in the locker rooms after the game or something like that, and I soaked some stuff in, but I never sat and watched it. And then now that I'm done playing, um, when I watch it, what sticks out to me is the emotions of the players. I never recognized that when I was younger, but now that I watch it as a pro, you can see how, case in point, I can just tell by watching it, this is that kid's last game. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can see how emotional they are. You can see how, and they're not, and you can't really control that, right? Because they're not trained that way. They're trained just like the pros in terms of handling the moment and moving on. But the enormity of everything, oh, that's good sportsmanship. You can see, like, I've watched Georgia and they've been down this whole game. I've been watching this game, and you can see how much of a challenge it is for them emotionally to recharge. And what really, you know what I think really affected this game was the shadows.
Yo, for sure.
Yeah. And Georgia's the best hitting team in the country, and they have completely lost their confidence. I watched actually 3 of their games in the regionals, and now I've watched 2 of them in the College World Series, and pressure has cooked them.
Yeah, it's different too. The ballpark plays a little bit bigger than theirs.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes the balls that they really hit that are home runs at home all season long, those balls are getting caught now.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for them to understand that.
That kid's a player right there. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
That kid's a beast.
Georgia's good.
Yeah.
Oklahoma just played better than everybody at this point.
Yep. I did a little research for this show, and do you know how many transfers that Georgia has?
No, I do not. I'm going to let you say that.
No, take a guess.
20.
31.
Oh my goodness.
26 D1 transfers and 5 JUCO transfers.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. I've actually, in watching this game and understanding their plight in the World Series, I wonder if that affects the chemistry a little bit. You know?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, right? Like they're what, number 3 in the country, so they've been experiencing only success together. Yeah.
I just saw where the kid from Gonzaga is going to Georgia next year.
Yeah.
He was a 2-time All West Coast Conference Player of the Year, and he's going to Georgia to play his junior season.
You know, I had a parent reach out to me. Their son has been given an offer from a school that he doesn't necessarily want to go to, but they really want him. And he likes the coach. And, you know, me and all of my old man professional callous now, my advice was, I'm like, well, when does it become binding? Right? When does it become binding? Because why not commit and then use the fluidity of the system? And if you get a better offer, go. But when you hear something like 31 dudes transferred into Georgia, what what would be your best advice to a parent about if they think their kid, and this kid is exceptionally talented, incredibly skilled, but a little bit he isn't physically developed yet, right? What would you do as a parent of a kid that's in that situation?
Well, I think backtrack a little bit in the conversation, right? There's 34 roster spots. There's 30 new players on that team.
Yeah.
31, did you say?
Yeah.
Where are those other 30 players?
Right.
And it's like, so what do you tell a parent of a prospective player? It's like, no matter who recruits you, the idea is you need to get better.
Right.
You need to keep getting better. You need to keep improving. You need to keep being relevant. And if not, they're going to find somebody else.
Yeah, that's a lot of
And I think
stress, man.
you've got to have that conversation with them, though, because it's like, you may get recruited by Georgia. You might not stay at Georgia. And you need to understand that. And then I think it makes it better when you get to professional baseball. You understand the dynamic a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always remember you telling me when I was talking about my son Nico, you always said, just be one of the top 700 players in the country. Just continue to do that, and you're all right.
Yeah. Yeah. I really think it's a challenge to the maturity of the player and the family and the families to really, I mean, I think it accelerates how do I say this? Like you said, it makes that transition to pro ball easier, I guess you could say. But you really have to be in the moment. Like it's the only way that it's going to work, because it isn't like you can be thinking that, oh, I'm going to go to a junior college, or I'm going to go to, I don't need to go to school. I'm just going to go ball out. But the only way that you're going to ball out anywhere is if you're in the moment. And
Exactly.
you can't really, it's not a hop, skip, and a jump, man. You got to keep hopping. You know what I mean? And
And I think when you look at the top 50 programs in the country, that's professional baseball. It's not college anymore.
yeah, yeah,
And when you look at the top 10 that are playing here, or the top 8 that are playing in Omaha, that's professional baseball.
yeah.
They're all getting paid. They all have to produce.
Oh, I love that it matters. I'm watching Georgia kids cry their eyes out right now.
Yeah. Win or go home.
I
That's
lo-
the best feeling in the world.
oh, really is. North Carolina, Oklahoma in the final. Best of 3. Finals begin Saturday. That's a good one. So, for any parent or kid watching at home, Coach, what should they understand about what it actually took the 8 teams to get to Omaha? Because people watch the College World Series and think, I want my son there, without understanding the full road.
Yeah, boy, it really takes good teammates, takes good coaches, takes resiliency, takes accountability. It takes, that emotion, that love that you see in that dugout right now.
Mm-hmm.
But they just hold each other accountable, everybody, every day. You show up, you work as hard as you possibly can, and crying's good. When you watch these kids cry,
Yeah.
that means they invested everything they have.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you look at it and you feel sad, but it's like, man, they have given everything. And I think that's what parents need to understand. You need to give everything.
Yes. Without
And
expectation of outcome.
but yeah, without expectation.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you listen to the coach from Alabama talk if you've been on social media, and he's talking about his starter. Kid didn't pitch his freshman year, not one inning. Sophomore year, he pitched like 6. Then he started in a starter role and he had a chance to sign. And he came back to school and won in a regional, won in a super regional, and pitched in a College World Series.
Hmm.
There's a kid that didn't play one inning as a freshman. And the coach was just talking about his resiliency, his never giving up, his always making adjustments. It was amazing.
Troy State's run was incredible, especially since, it wasn't like they had just a magical season. They just kind of had a magical run at the end. They came from 7 down to eliminate Ole Miss. Um, I was like, speaking of the emotions of it, I was really impressed with, they had obvious team chemistry. Even when they were down, I was kind of impressed with their presence. They do a really good job on ESPN of showing the dugout. I feel like they show it so much more than they do in the big league games. Um, but what does a run like that tell us about the value of finding the right program fit versus chasing the biggest name?
Yeah, I think you tells you a lot. It tells you a lot about kids staying there. It tells you a lot about recruiting the right person. It tells you a lot about how hard programs work that you don't even know or exist.
Right.
Uh, you're like, oh, Troy, where did they come from?
Mm-hmm.
They came from a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, and some really good baseball players.
How do you think, last week or week before last, I went to Atlanta for the Beast of the East tournament with the 17U team. And those, they have no idea when they're being watched, right? And they have no idea when a scout or a coach calls me and asks very poignant questions, right? They have no idea that happens. But how do if I'm a young player, if I'm a junior in high school right now, how do you show that you could be one of those guys that comes out of nowhere as a freshman or maybe later on in the program for like what we're seeing in the College World Series right now? What qualities, maybe what I'm asking is how do you demonstrate intangibility on the circuit?
Yeah, I think you got to believe in yourself.
Mm.
And the way you believe in yourself is by how hard you work and the preparation that you have and the way you think. Um, Physically, you got to always get bigger, stronger, faster. But it's more important that you believe in who you are.
How do you know
And
that
if you do,
when you watch what cues, maybe they it's probably easier to see when they eliminate themselves, right? Like you come in and there's a default that like
right.
you believe that they're confident, but then you see things that reveal that they are not. What are some of those things? And then and follow that up with maybe even a story that you can recall when you were like, wow, that kid has got it. But what do you watch as a coach when you're evaluating the circuit?
Yeah, I think coachability, I think you see it in their eyes, you see it in their demeanor, you see it in how they hold themselves, how they hold their space. We talk about that a lot. But I think more importantly, you're looking for the resiliency. Somebody that could pick themselves up, somebody that knows there's more to it than just that one at bat, just that one pitch, and they keep going and they keep moving.
Yeah, you know what sticks out to me in answer to my own question is here's what I noticed. I really think that you demonstrate there's two critical moments that as a position player stick out to me. Um, it's how you react to a bad call by an umpire. I think that's a swing where if you can demonstrate maturity and evoke confidence even when something goes against you as opposed to doing the kind of pouty thing, I think that's one. And this is the baseball nerd in me, but watching guys be passive on balls in the dirt as base runners. When guys stay flat footed as a base runner on balls in the dirt, that is as a coach and as an evaluator of talent now, when I watch that, it's almost, I'm like, dude, you don't want to play. I don't believe you want to play if you can't give me a jab step on a ball in the dirt. What do you got on that?
Yeah, we had a kid by the name of Ryan Lipkin, and you know Lipkin well.
Yeah.
He couldn't run out of sight in 3 weeks. And he could take second base on a ball in the dirt better than anybody I coached. He just had that will, and that's what got him to AAA. That's what kept him in professional baseball for 6 years.
Uh-huh.
That not the base running, just the base running, just his ability to do something that no one else could do. He could see the ball going down, he could extend, and he could release.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, he couldn't run out of sight in two 3 days.
Yeah. Base running is really so underrated as a skill. And you don't have to be fast to be a good first to third or second to home runner. And I really think that is your biggest chance to stick out, man. It is absolutely your biggest chance to stick out. And as a pitcher, I think that when you demonstrate the ability to elevate your game after a good inning or a bad one. So a good inning offensively and you come in and you shut it down, or a previous bad defensive inning that you bounce back. Like those are the moments that I think as any evaluator that's watching, you're grading the heart in those moments. I really believe that.
Yeah, and you talk about the circuit, right? So how do you stand out on the circuit when there's all this ability? You got to do something different. You got to have something that's intangible. Dustin Pedroia. You stood next to him.
Yeah.
How big is he?
About the size of that bat over my shoulder? Where is it at over
here? Yeah. How well did he run?
He ran hard, not fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it stuck out. He didn't have the tool set, but he was able to make it through the circuit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell this story a lot, but he also hit .587 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs in college.
Yeah. .587. I love that you remember .587.
With 2 outs. 2 outs.
You know what I've noticed too? Or I haven't noticed? That there's clearly a gap. I've seen one. I went to the Beast of the East now twice. I have coached in let's say a dozen national tournaments, and I can only remember one middle infielder and I can't remember any center fielders, but I have not seen, I don't know what's happened. And maybe I'm fooling myself that they're just too young, but I have not seen one center fielder, and I've only seen one middle infielder command the defense with their voice.
Oh, wow.
And what makes me say that is you said about sticking out, right? Like, I'm going to tell that actually. I'm going to tell that to the 17U team. I've made it a point of emphasis to the middle infielders and the center fielders that it's, they're the captains and they need to command the defense with their presence and their voice. I've said that to them. But when you say about sticking out, like, man, if you have an energy and you're enthusiastic and you don't have to control your teammates. I don't make it sound like it's a control thing, but when you create accountability and you're forward with your voice, I mean, man, that is a way to stick out. I mean, that would, if I saw that, I can guarantee when I do see it, I'm going to be so impressed. And it has to be authentic. It can't just be loud because then you're going to annoy your teammates. And I think that's what part of it is. I think that's what a sign of it is that you can kind of tell what the social status is. And if you're received to play that position, I mean, you do so much math for a coach and an evaluator when you can thread that needle. What do you think?
Oh, for sure. And you put that star next to that name.
Yeah.
The asterisk right there next to that name when you see it. Today I watched a double-A game. Kid played in his first double-A game. He played center field. I looked him up. He's a catcher. And I was like, well, that guy's impressive. Beat it. First ball he hit in the sixth hole, he beat it out. Stole second base. Ninth inning, diving catch, right center field to win the game. So I said to my son after the game, well, that guy's good. He goes, yeah, he's our number one prospect. I only watched him play 9 innings. He found a way to stand out in 9 innings. That's why he's the number one prospect.
Right. Because he's lived that. He's been doing that for a while, clearly.
And his position is behind the dish.
Mm.
That's his secondary position he played today.
I'm going to tell you this story, and I'm curious as to what you look at as a coach. So my old squad, the 17U team, they're a little banged up right now. They got a couple of hammies, right? They got a couple of hammies. They had the big travel to Atlanta. They flew back on a Monday morning, and then they had a game Tuesday, game Wednesday, game Thursday, game Friday. Then they had the weekend off. Then they had a Monday, and yesterday was a Tuesday, and they're tired, right? So after the game, they played well yesterday. After the game, when I had their attention and I had my space to talk, this is what I said. I said, this team has a diet problem. You don't eat enough fruits. You don't eat enough vegetables. You don't drink enough water. You don't have enough electrolytes. You guys are really good. Treat yourselves like it. That's what I said. Okay. Now, my question for you is, now I know you probably don't do it to the extent that I walk into the facility. It's an involuntary response in my head because of what I had to do. I wasn't in order for me to play as long as I did and deal with the injuries that I had to become an expert in nutrition and in training regimen. I had to learn how to manage myself that way. So I have an involuntary response that anytime I walk in and I see a kid, I know if he's drank enough water. I can tell if he's been sleeping enough. I can tell by if he's been stretching and foam rolling enough just by watching him move. It's like the Terminator, where it just calculates and it's an involuntary response and I can see it. And so these young kids, it's like the analogy I thought of was it's like on, setting yourself on cruise control. Because when you compete, particularly in baseball, there's a cruise control your body has to be able to keep up with. And their RPMs, for a 60-mile-an-hour cruise control, like their RPMs are up in the 4 and the 5s. They're running too hot, right? Tell me, as a coach, can you see that? You pay attention to
every
that?
day.
Yeah?
Yeah, every day. The nutrition, the body composition,
You can
the
see that.
sleep,
You watch that.
the skin,
Yeah.
the hair,
Right?
the way the uniform fits. Guys that can accelerate. The hamstrings. I was holding this up because I was like, guarantee you that's where the hamstring issue is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lack of stretching and not enough of that.
Correct. And
Or not enough sleep.
Right. I gave him this analogy. I'm like, this is the trajectory. You have to always be trending up. You know what I mean? Mentally. And you're not going to do that if you don't feel physically good. And the way to feel physically good is a matter of science. Be honest with you. I'm struggling with that right now, to be honest. I'm struggling how to get that through to kids, that I can walk in the dugout and all of them, they can be sitting in a line, and in a matter of about 5 seconds, I can go, you're not sleeping enough. You don't drink enough water. You're just generally bad at treating yourself in any way. And I don't know. If that's the only way that you can demonstrate that you take it seriously, is if you have that polish to your lifestyle. And success in sports past high school, it's not an activity. It's not a sport. It's a lifestyle.
Most definitely. Like if you're a speed guy and you don't get up every morning and you don't roll out and you don't stretch and you don't have enough water, you're already going backwards. You're already going backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lifestyle. From the moment you wake up, how you treat yourself.
Yes.
And right before you go to bed, how you treat yourself.
Yes. Yes.
They need to understand that.
Yes.
Every night they stay out 2-3 extra hours and play video games.
Yes.
Going backwards.
Yes. Back to your original point about standing out. I think if you check the skill boxes, right? If you're ever a name that people are worth following up on, I think that those 3 things: your morning routine, your evening routine, and how you making it evident that you take care of yourself physically is the same as the Dustin Pedroia thing on the field.
Yes.
Type of a thing. And they don't know they're being evaluated like that. And they don't know that they have adult expert eyes and minds that look at them and know if they're not drinking enough water. They don't know that. And it's one of those intangible things. That's the easiest way to stick out. That, hey, I'm going to be better than that. I'm going to be whoever that, and that's the way to look at it. No matter how good you are, you're always compared to somebody else, right? And so then it comes down to, what are the intangibles that you can somehow demonstrate that are going to make you in their minds more valuable, the prospect of you more valuable. It's how you manage yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, most definitely. And they need to understand that someone's always looking at them like you.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll wrap it up here. We'll keep it short tonight. But let's make this directly actionable. A 15 or 16-year-old is watching the College World Series right now and wants to be in Omaha someday. What are 3 things they need to do starting this week?
They need to journal and have a plan on how they're going to gain strength, speed, flexibility. So that in that same journal, they have to have some intangibles mentally that they want to lean on.
Hmm.
Catchphrase, something that kicks them in, something that they want to do, how they're going to do it. They have to keep the mental side of the game in that journal. Right. And then lastly, they have to figure out how to develop their skills.
Yeah. Yeah. Time. Yeah. Have to be committed to time. I don't know about a list of 3 things, but to your point about the mental, I love the journal concept. You know what's funny is that journals have, I feel like there's probably less journaling going on when there's a better resource now to journal. But it's counterintuitive to journal on your phone. Like, I can't journal on my phone. Can you journal on your phone? Maybe that makes me a fuddy duddy. I don't know. But
no, I can.
You can?
I can do all my notes on my phone. Yeah.
Yeah. There's something I like the separate. I suppose it's from how I journaled in college and how you made us do it. And we'd had our journals, and I always liked having it tangible, visible, and separate. That there's kind of that mental block for journaling for me. But the mental side of it, this is the most important thing, that there are supremely talented, just physically developed dudes that are in those College World Series dugouts. But the only way that you're going to get a chance to play late in a season for a really good program that's successful like that is you have to have this. What's the dude from Oklahoma City Thunder? Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Did you see his quote after they got beat?
I did not.
Yeah. Man, that guy's great. He said he is no longer intimidated by failure. In fact, he's thankful for it because he has realized in his life that he has made by far his biggest gains in his skills and in his ability as a performance athlete after he fails. So he's not, of course it hurts, but he's not angry or intimidated by it anymore. In fact, he's not only thankful for it, he's excited about what is going to become of it. Now, that's an NBA MVP. That is a PhD level in performance psychology. But that's my best advice for a 15 or 16-year-old is that if you become angered and you tap into the negative energy of failure, particularly in this game, that is public enemy number 1 for you. You have to be able, whether it's through journaling, whether it's through therapy, whatever it is, you have to learn how to manage yourself and be resilient, be thankful for failure, be able to emotionally remove yourself at some point. Anger, disappointment, those are all real things, but the sooner you can move on from that and glean the information about failure to a point where you work yourself like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander to a point where you're thankful for it and you're excited what is going to become of it. I got to be honest, after being enlightened to reading about him saying that, I'm like, dude, sky is the limit for that guy.
Yeah, the world is his.
You want to separate yourselves from your peers? Start talking like that and live it, because that's what it's going to take to get elite. And really, as a performance athlete, that is what's required for you to continue to level yourself up, is that sort of an attitude. And I'll make my shameless plug for The Mental Game of Baseball by Harvey Dorfman, because he transcended my life for sure. But not only journal, have a resource, whether it's a person, whether it's a book, like have a guru. Don't rely on yourself. Don't rely on your own understanding, whether it is a series of books, a combination of books, somebody that is older and wiser and emotionally objective about you and your situation. I really, it takes a village, But that would be my best encouragement is don't think that you're just going to grind yourself and process everything that yourself and level up your skill to a point where you could be like, I want to play in the College World Series. How does that happen? Yeah, you got to get physical skills, but there is a mental fortitude that is required to get even close to that level.
Yeah, I also think I'd like to add one thing to the people that are listening. Breathing. Learn how to breathe.
Learn how to breathe.
Learn how to breathe in between pitches, before swings, during at bats, with runners on base running, defensively. Learn how to breathe.
Yeah.
It's underestimated by a lot of people.
Really is.
I mean, when you learned that and you had to keep your heart rate at a certain level, that was huge.
Huge. Thank you, Coach.
70. What did
72.
he say?
72. I guess I'll tell that story real quick. I was dealing with a lot of anxiety in 2008 to the point I was blacking out literally as the pitch was released. I was blacking out and I was like having panic attacks, mini panic attacks as the pitch was coming. And if you've ever seen anybody swing with their eyes closed, that's exactly what it looked like I was doing. And I had like probably a good week stretch like that. And my manager, Frank Kremlis, we were flying from Durham, North Carolina back to Indianapolis, and he called me to the front of the plane as we were flying back. And he was like, "What's wrong with you, man?" And I told him what my problem was. And he said, "Well, look, I'm not going to sit you. You're going to play every game the rest of the season. So you can just get that out of your mind that, yeah, you're not going to play." And he goes, "You may not want to play. You may be scared that I'm going to bench you. I'm just going to tell you right now, you're going to play every game the rest of the season." And he goes, "You only have one goal." He goes, "The only standard that I'm going to hold you to," and he premised it with the story. He goes, "Do you know what Tiger Woods' goal is when he practices?" And then he goes, "To keep his heart rate at 72. He wears a heart monitor. This is what, 2008. This is before we had all of the fancy tech and everything, right? He goes, he wears a heart monitor to track his heart rate so that he can learn how to control his adrenaline. That's his only goal in practice." And he goes, "I'm making that your goal. Your only goal is to keep your heart rate at 72. And he would yell. He goes, "If I see you doing the thing where you're getting nervous and you're getting in your head and I can see you winding up, I'm going to yell at you 72. And he did it. He did it a handful of times. This was about mid-July. So there were 6 weeks left in the season. I remember it. I hit over 400 the rest of the season.
Amazing.
That's it. There was no mechanical adjustment. I think I remember at this point when I hit rock bottom, I was like 0 for 18 with 12 strikeouts. So I'm facing the same competition. And I remember we played Durham. I hit rock bottom in Durham. And then like a week or two later, Durham came to us and they'd watched me struggle. And then they I went off on them. And it was just one of those moments. It was really revealing personally about how powerful the breath is.
Extremely.
And that's all that's he goes, "Dude, the only way you're going to keep your heart rate at 72 is if you breathe." He goes, "That's what you're doing. You're stopping breathing. That's what's freaking you out." And I was going through a lot of stuff in my personal life at the time. And I was like, no, I'm going through so much anxiety. I'm literally blacking out when the pitch is coming in. I did not see anything. My eyes were open, but I didn't see anything. And I talked myself into that. And he's like, "Dude, you just have to breathe." And that says a lot, even at the professional level, that as an athlete, as an individual, right, they had to watch me go 0 for 18 with 12 strikeouts, which he was even bleeding before the 0 for 18, right? But it took a coach who cared. And for me, I wasn't going and asking for help. I had to hit rock bottom, and then him having to pull me up and just go, "Breathe, dude. 72.
Yeah, just breathe.
Just breathe." Can't do it on your own, man. You can't do it on your own. You need somebody. You need somebody there. You need somebody to hold you accountable. You need tremendous self-discipline, but you also need exceptional influence around you for sure. And it's not doesn't always have to be in person. It can be somebody you reach out to. It can be somebody that's demonstrating and providing knowledge through books or whatnot and through reading. But um, yeah, yeah, that's good. Thank you for that. That made me feel. That felt good. Just to tell that story. That was
Good.
yeah.
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Thank
All right,
you.
Zach.
See you.
You bet.